welcome to this edition of the Event Tech Snap. And today I'm very, very honored to have the fabulous Vanessa with me today. Hello, Vanessa.
The honor is all mine.
So welcome everybody who's watching us live on LinkedIn. Let us know where you're joining us from. What do you have in mind? Whatever. Just tell me that you're watching so we know we are not alone on this LinkedIn live. It always feels nicer to have an audience. So just say hello, and we are very happy to see that you guys are joining us. So today we want to talk a little bit about what's up in our mind right now with event technology. Then later on, Vanessa and I are going to go a little bit deeper into event co-pilots, all these AI tools that should help make our lives as event planners and the lives of the participants a bit easier.
Yes.
And of course, Vanessa will share us all about event tech world. So Vanessa, thanks so much for joining us. What's on your mind this week or the past weeks when it comes to event tech?
A lot.
That's good. There's lots going on.
Start by saying how I love these really unscripted conversations. So disclaimer, if we say anything crazy, it's because this is not prepared or rehearsed, just a little let's go for it conversation. What's on my mind? Integrations, massive thing that I just can't escape. Every single event tech world conversation, integrations will come up, and the fact that they are damn hard and frustrating and present masses of opportunity, but seem quite unobtainable very often for a lot of folks. So that's definitely on my mind, and how to just try and make some of those integration opportunities a little bit more accessible. And I use the phrase little bit very deliberately there. I don't think we need to go from 0 to 60 here overnight. Incremental changes are probably the right sort of approach for most events businesses or events teams inside a business. So deeply unglamorous, but integrations are on my mind, definitely. I think a couple of other things that have sprung to mind would be team competencies around event tech. So this has come up as well quite frequently, that everybody knows a little bit because we kind of have to know a little bit, but there aren't that many teams that maybe feel really competent when it comes to event technology knowledge and information and education and experience, because there aren't a lot of us that have loads of experience when it comes to event technology, because it's still kind of, it's an earlier stage part of the world of events. So that's come up quite a few times recently as well. I mean, loads of things, but those are the two things that spring to mind for me. What about you at the moment?
And, just to piggyback on the very last point that you said about that there are not so many event tech experts out there, and a lot of people might struggle with the amount of tools that they are, and what can we actually do, integration, separate tools, like what's going on. Just today I attended the PCMA EMEA meetup, and I was moderating one of the breakouts, and we talked about their recent engagement survey that PCMA EMEA did. And one of the struggles that most planners and suppliers mentioned is they don't have time, and the workload is just increasing and way too much. And then we talked about okay, how can we deal with that? Do we have any tips, etc.? And then we discussed about the tool, the technological tools that we have right now to help us with our work and with our workload, etc. And of course, AI tools that are now, everybody's talking about it. And then some people said but I don't have time. that's the thing. I don't have time to explore. And that's why, it's good that we have these kind of chats, because we help people
make a little time.
To organize everything a little bit in their mind. But anyways, what then a person said in the group, and that was quite interesting, is that they are exploring Microsoft Copilot, and they actually hired new people to help with that, to help using the tools and then training the other people. And these new people were young because they are the digital natives. And then somebody else said, okay, like maybe instead of just hiring, because not everybody can just hire new people for a specific project or etc. Then they checked within the company and then talked to the younger technical savvy people who wants to take on this project, who wants to explore, who wants to check out new tools, and then teaching the other ones. So I think that was also quite interesting, like not immediately saying like, I don't have time for that. No, like I'm blocking that. But if you have a quite big company, like see maybe your younger people, they would be really motivated to dive into that and check it out. And then it's like this reverse mentorship kind of thing, okay, now the younger people are teaching the more senior people something. So I like that point,
Well, can I sort of respond? There's a couple of things that spring to mind for me on that. And I really wish I could remember, genuinely wish I could remember who said this to me, because I would be quoting them on it, but I can't remember who said it to me, which is that the event sector is incredibly, and the people in it are incredibly computer savvy, but we're not always that tech savvy. And I really, really liked that sort of nice, simple explainer. Give us a laptop. I mean, we can make it do many fabulous things, or a handheld device, whatever it might be. We're really, really computer savvy, centric, orientated, love it, bring it on. But when it comes to the next layer of being actually quite tech savvy, not so many folks. And there are a very small number of people whose role is now to be head of event technology in an organization. So in an exhibitions business or in a corporate organization that run their own events. And when I say a small number of people, I really mean a small number of people. I would take a bet on there being somewhere between 100 and 150 people with this job title in the world. Maybe 200, who knows? But I don't even think there's that many. But that number is growing. And I know that number is growing, because I'm meeting them on my event tech world journey. But just as one example, I spoke to a recruiter. He works at an events agency, and he is currently recruiting for 13 individuals, 13, to be event technology leaders in the businesses that they work with, or event technology managers in the businesses they work with. 1 year ago, he wasn't recruiting for anybody. So this is increasing, and I see that as a really, really good thing. But the other thing I want to, I think, add on to what you said there with this, I don't have time. If you are an event business leader or you're a head of events in a corporate organization, I really think this needs to change. And I kind of want to say that not in a bossy way, but I hope with a bit of, please listen way, because with everything in business, you've got people, process, and technology, right? And those are the three ways, generally speaking, that you're going to make improvements. Yes, there will be market factors to influence all of those, but I'm not bringing those into it right now. People, we're bloody brilliant at managing people in the event sector. We are people, and I think we smash that side of things on the whole. We work our people hard, but I think we do really well there. Process, I think we're pretty damn good at too. Technology is the piece that is changing faster than we are changing, and is growing faster than we are growing. And so for event leaders, I really think you've got to find a way, and God, I know it's hard, to give your teams just a little bit of time to go on that growth journey. And I think it will pay dividends in the long run if you can establish this mentality. And I am not saying your job roles are changing and now you're event technologist at all. I'm saying give them an hour a week, give them half an hour a week, give them an hour every 2 weeks, whatever it might be, but give them the gift of time to be able to go on this really important growth element of the event sector. So I feel quite passionately about that.
No, it's good.
I hope that.
No, I think it's important that we advocate for that, right? Because otherwise they will be behind in maybe next year already, in 2 years. We don't know. Everything is developing so fast. But it is important not to fall behind on that. And one thing that, I mean, what I'm always doing is, like I really take the time as well to watch webinars, to attend different events. So just a tip, whoever missed it yesterday, skipped meetings, did a 2-hour webinar about AI, AI for our industry. And it was really good because it was very, very fast paced. You had a lot of speakers there, like for like 10 minutes and then next speaker, etc. So you didn't get bored. And they talked at the beginning about how to use AI for destinations, which is not so talked about like so much, which I found interesting. So there was Jeanette from Brand USA. So she was mentioning like how they are including AI. And then there was a company from Denmark, saying like what they are doing with destinations to teach them about AI and what are the different solutions. And then later on, there were like these companies like 𝐒𝐲𝐽, Snapside, of course, was there and was capturing the webinar as well. So you can also catch up on the takeaways if you don't want to watch it.
Send it to me. It was at the same time I was on a train, so I couldn't watch it live. I'd love to watch it on demand, and I'd love to read the summary. Actually, it'd be really helpful.
Yeah. No, it was really, really good. So I'll put the link in the chat. But it was like really worthwhile to watch, just as get tips, get ideas as well, and so on. And then because I'm watching the webinars, but I'm also very active in the chats usually. That's where I make connections, and sometimes there's even like a side discussion going on in those chats, which is really interesting. And then I was checking like what tools do people recommend and stuff like that. And then I came then I saw one. It's called Folio, PHOLEO. I've never heard of it. I'll put the link in the chat. It's like an event management and production tool, kind of. So like something like it replaces Excel, your Excel list and your folders and stuff. Like, it's not AI, but I found it quite interesting. So it's just like something to check it out. Maybe it's a solution for some of your Excel chaotic organizations. That was quite interesting. And we have some more people joining. So hi Matthew, and hi Tom. And Tom is saying, let me put up Tom's comment. I believe that event organizers cannot keep track of all the news that happens on a daily basis. Of course not. They need to focus on their goals and possibly have consultants who can suggest which event tech solutions are best for their needs. Yes, Tom, we agree.
There's a guy working, he's called Josiah Tolby. Go Lucid is his organization, and he is working. It's an absolutely monumental task to, hey Elena, to categorize event technology. Now, he reckons there are about 800 product companies out there. So that gives you an idea of the scale and immensity. Is that a word? If it's not, it is now, of the task that he is embarking upon. But I think it's going to help a lot when it comes to what am I looking to achieve? Therefore, where should I be looking? Because this phrase all in one platform can be quite challenging for an event organizer. And I think this sort of speaks to Tom's point that this is, well, I am an event organizer. I do also work, as well as Event Tech World, I work inside an events business, and keeping on top of it is absolutely, it's impossible. I'm just going to say it's impossible. It's so fast moving. And there was a message in the chat a little bit further down.
Yeah, this one, right?
Like a chat that said, as soon as you've learned a tool, it's out of date.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I feel that too when I was supplier side. And this is a real challenge with the nature of event technology when it's a SaaS tool. We don't use event technology for most people. You don't go in every single day. It's not like Salesforce or HubSpot or one of those other sorts of tools that you go in pretty much every day to do or use something. So tiny feature changes or adjustments, they're manageable. But with an event platform, if you're going in much more periodically because perhaps you have a sort of seasonality to your event calendar, you might not go into a platform for a month or two, and quite massive changes could happen in that time to not just the feature set, but to the user experience as well. And that alone is challenging. Or you might, I'm sorry, I'm going off on one now. You might do a whole assessment of a certain sort of event tech tool you want to use. Maybe it could be on AI assistance, which I think we're going to come to in a minute. And you pick one, you review 3, maybe you pick one, and then you buy it. And then 3 months later, the other two that you had assessed have completely changed, because that is the state of the market right now. It's really exciting and it's absolutely fascinating. And hey, aren't we lucky as a sector that we're in this moment of growth and development and opportunity? But it is really, really bloody overwhelming. That's a very English thing to say.
It's okay. We can be free here. We can say it. No, of course. So you already mentioned the assistants, like how AI can help us. So let's talk about that. So
there's no reason that I picked this other than in the last 6 months, 4 of these tools have landed on my desk somehow. And actually, Tom in the chat is one of those people who have landed on my desk in this regard. And I think this is a really interesting way to improve the attendee experience. And yes, there's loads of data that you'll be able to get, and insights you'll be able to get as an organizer after an event, or even during an event, actually, probably pre-event as well, as I think out loud. But you can get information, but fundamentally the user experience, the attendee experience, I think is massively improved. I've got a few names of companies that, again, there will be others out here. I have no affiliation to any of these organizations, and I'm going to do them in alphabetical order to be completely impartial. Boom Pop. So this is an AI, and Tom, he's in the chat, you can correct me if I get this wrong. It's an AI assistant, but on WhatsApp. So you're meeting someone where they are, an attendee, they're already going to be on WhatsApp. I think you've got probably a 99.9% chance of that being the case. And that's where they can go to get really instant, immediate information about the event. Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, and I think you're here, so you probably get to explain it better in the chat as well. Another one, I'm going to say similar, but with its niche differences as well. Oh no, now I'm going out of order. Never mind. Message Matrix, also another WhatsApp AI assistant tool for event attendees. And the other one, which I have used, is Events Case. So Events Case have another a larger event tech tool, but they've released an AI system. I did actually use this last October. So some of you might be aware with the 𝐒𝐬𝐲, there was a trip on a boat. Some of us went and sailed around the Adriatic and literally had the best time. It was incredible. And we used the Events Case AI assistant. And because we were on a, this is quite funny, because we were on a ship, they'd made the AI assistant speak in pirate to us. So whenever you asked it anything like, what time does the next session start? Because we did actually have sessions all day. It wasn't just floating around. It would speak back to you in pirate and say, "Or Miharti." I'm not going to do that accent anymore, but your shipmates are meeting at 11 a.m. wherever it was. So it really sort of embodied the event as well. I'm sure they can all do that, but it was pretty handy, and I used it quite a lot actually, even though it was a small group. When you were on your own in your cabin, it's like, crap, I can't remember what time is. I found it really, really helpful. Hey, we've got another itchy person in the group, which is awesome. So I really enjoyed using it. And then the fourth one, which is actually slightly different, but I think is representative of how varied this approach can be. So this is actually an event app called HiBar, and this app has Copilot built into it. So they've sort of, it's a 2-in-1, I guess. You're getting an event app, but with that AI inbuilt, so that the I keep saying organizer, I mean attendee, can get that AI assistant experience inside the app. And I just think these are cropping up. You mentioned another one actually.
It's called Events Copilot.ai by Turnout Now. It's an American company. I learned about them at IMEX America, I think. So it's another interesting one that I think you integrate to your existing app. That's what I think. Because that's, some of my thoughts about that is like, okay, do you replace an event app, or is it integrated, or, like what are your communication channels with the attendees? That's important to figure out, because I know like Wumei from Tom, like it's purely on WhatsApp. right? So it like you might have an event app, and then you have the communication on WhatsApp, or you just have the communication on WhatsApp. For example, if it's a small event, or you decide you don't need an event app, you don't. But I like also like these integrated ones, right? Like, or like something like Hyba, and Michael was on the Skift meetings webinar yesterday as well.
Yes, me. He's great. I mean, everyone's great in this sector. We're really lucky.
So that's my thoughts about it. And I saw, didn't Convex last in 2 weeks?
Yes, that was Message Matrix.
Yeah, they used it, right? Yeah. Were you there? Like, did you
I did use it. Yes, I actually used it pre-event. So clearly it's not just live event experience, it's pre, during, and post-event as well. But I used it pre-event to find a couple of bits of information about the agenda. I like it, I find it to be, for me, helpful. And I like the fact that I can talk to it in my own language. I can just myself, and I'm not having to think, how did the event organizer who created this app think when they were creating this app? And I think a lot of this, why I feel excited about these tools is, in my opinion, a lot of apps that have existed, they're kind of created with the organizer's needs in mind very often. And I feel like all of these tools, in my opinion, are very much created with the attendee or the sponsor or the speaker's needs in mind. And that for me feels like a flipping massive step forwards, because that's when you're going to have more engaged attendees, therefore more active attendees, probably more repeat attendees, and so on and so forth. And I'm pro an event app. I know they seem to polarize people quite a lot these days. I like an event app, but they aren't all created equally, nor should they be, because events aren't created equally either. And I think it comes back to what your event needs, what your event goals are, and therefore how do you deliver that. And what you were saying there, you quite like when these co-pilots are built into the app, that you like that approach. For me, I really think it's what the event needs. So if the event doesn't need an app, awesome, don't do an app. I did have one Event Tech World meetup actually where this was quite a hotly discussed subject actually, and there was an attendee who had just got rid of apps at their show, quite a big show as well. What they had gone with instead was multiple QR codes with different bits of information all over the place. And they showed us a couple of photos so we could sort of visualize it. There were a lot of QR codes. They said they actually had a great response to it, because people were not looking for the app. They didn't have to download something. They felt they had good engagement with that. It was still very early after their event, so they didn't really have any conclusive, will we definitely do it again or not yet. It was only, I think, 2 weeks after. It was just interesting to hear the difference. So for something like that, having a QR code that takes you to a WhatsApp concierge.
Exactly. I agree. Better. And you have only one QR code and not 5 or something. No, I agree. Or having like a chatbot on the website that lots of organizations nowadays have, and that can answer a lot of your questions as well. I mean, I was at a consumer trade show last year in Berlin, and they didn't have an app, but they had the chatbot. So all the information, like, where is this exhibitor? Where can I find this and this? I just talked to the chatbot on the website. It doesn't matter. I like a lot of people, I feel they don't want an app anymore anyways, because it takes the storage, and it, like, you have so many apps on your phone and stuff like that. So sometimes it's just simply not necessary anymore. It really depends on the audience and of the event. But what I feel like for us organizers, why I love these AI assistants, because it takes so much work from us. Like, I mean, I started in the industry. I worked for 𝐒𝐬, and I was part of the registration team. I got so many emails, like, about, I don't know, what other hotels, like anything, even if the information is on the website, people still, they know how to reach me, so they rather email me, and imagine that, like, imagine your staff that could, focus on something else instead, or just gets like very, very few of these emails, and people can simply ask the AI assistant and get the answer immediately. They don't
Yeah.
have to wait maybe 2 days or whatever, because maybe it's really urgent. And also maybe in their own language, so that you don't have the language barriers. So that's why I'm thinking, of course, from the attendee perspective, I love these chats, the chat opportunities. But also for me as an organizer, like it would take so much work from us. And then also the last advantage for me as an organizer is the data that you can collect, like what was asked. So what are they really interested in? So maybe what do we need to improve next time, like to show certain schedules on the website or something like this. And also to just see how many people engage with that, etc., etc. Like how much we
Great
can
source of
extract
knowledge.
afterwards. I think that's not to underestimate. Right.
Agree. Fully agree entirely.
Yeah.
Lots of chat.
I'm just reading through the chat. It's good that you guys are discussing. Someone
doesn't like WhatsApp.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And also, I mean, you need to be careful, like, where is your audience from? Because in the US, I know WhatsApp is not really used, right? So it's mostly like iMessages and stuff like that. But for us here in Europe, everybody uses it. All your attendees will have it. So it's really like where you reach the audience as well. And I know Celine was asking about GDPR things, and then Tom was answering every country or region has its own guidelines for privacy protection that event organizers must adhere to. Based on experience, EU regulations are stricter than those in the United States, depending on what data is collected and proceeded. So I mean, just from my experience, if you work with non-EU companies, they very often have servers actually in the EU. So talk to them, check out these concerns that you have or questions that you have, of course. All right. That was very fast paced, but I hope we gave people with some information, and maybe we do another episode about AI co-pilots. Maybe I just do I invite some of the vendors, and then we do a quick test or something like this.
I'm thinking about a similar thing for Event Tech World as well, because I just think all we want to do with organizers is help them get more information so they can make better decisions on event tech quickly. That's like my main goal, is to help my peers, other people who are using and buying event tech, and other organizations, to know what they should buy and to know what they should renew and to know how they can integrate different tools with each other. I mean, I have big dreams.
That's good. We need to dream big. That's good. I love that, Vanessa. So
I just
tell
think
us,
it's so difficult to know what the right path forward is. So yeah.
I know. But we need to be open for it. We need to explore. We need to try things out.
Yeah.
I feel, but tell us how can people join Event Tech World?
Yeah, it's really easy. Go to eventtechworld.com, literally spelled exactly as it sounds. And you'll see there's a join button. There's lots of join buttons, actually. And come and get involved. And if you're in the UK, there's quite a lot of in-person meetups between now and the end of the year. They're not on the website yet, but they will be next week. And there's also quite a few digital sessions as well that'll be coming up between now and the end of the year for those of you outside the UK. Again, all be online next week, or just drop me a line on LinkedIn. Always happy to hear from people here as well.
Do you plan like a meetup at IMEX Frankfurt maybe?
Do you know, I've given a lot of thought. I don't think I will this year. I would love to, but I am but one human being.
I know.
I'm going to keep trying to claim myself and see if it ever works. So I probably not this year. I may go, but I don't think I'm going to do anything official.
Well,
don't tempt me.
I
might end up doing it.
Exactly. Let's think about something, because I always organize a meetup, right? So maybe we can all just, combine our forces and create one big one. It's easy.
Love it. Here they go. You see it. Live event planning.
Right? These spontaneous chats. And also I see that Anat posted the link for today's chat in the chat. So if you want to read the takeaways again for of today's very fast-paced 30 minutes chat, of course you can do so. And I am inviting you already for next week's chat. It's already planned, and I'll put the link in the chat. It's going to be with Sean Cheng, my friend from Event Prof's Break Shed, and now he works for 𝐒𝐬𝐝, and he just attended South by Southwest, so he wants to tell us all about it and what we can learn from that mega event. Then in the coming months and weeks, I'm going to host a couple of more AI spotlight sessions. I have some speakers confirmed, so watch out for that. And then the next Snapside spotlight will be on the 27th of March with Tom Hood, and he's working for the Association for International Certified Professional Accountants, and he's also the founder of the Business Learning Institute, and he actually has over 700,000 followers on LinkedIn. So yes, I'm getting a bit nervous. And he is a Snapside power user, and he will tell us all about his experience with the tool. So don't miss out on that. I will, of course, promote it on my LinkedIn as an event very, very soon. And yeah, if you want to be a guest on any of my LinkedIn webinars, let me know. And with that, thanks a lot, Vanessa, for joining us today.
Really enjoyed it.
Everybody check out 𝐸vent World. Rewatch this if you want to learn about the co-pilots again that we mentioned. And we hope to see you again next time.